Welcome back to another week on the vlog. I'm so happy to be here. I had a great Valentine's weekend. It was super rainy here and I really had like a cozy weekend at home that felt perfectly aligned with what I needed after a busy outward-facing celebratory week. And then the second that it was over, I could not get the decorations down fast enough. That's one thing about me. When something's done, it's done and I don't let it linger. This week is just a pretty quote-unquote standard week. I don't really know what that means exactly. I'm still trying to figure out what standard looks like in my life these days. At the time of this filming, I am a couple weeks away from launching the first phase of this trio of work that I'm going to be releasing into the world. And I would say the first one is like the least involved from a collaborative standpoint, meaning I'm doing this one kind of on my own. It's honestly kind of similar to what I'm doing now on the vlog. It is the kind of thing that I can execute by myself, which is great, but also feels sometimes like a little bit of a liability because I am doing it all by myself. And if I don't get it done, it doesn't get done. And after a couple weeks of sort of procrastinating for reasons that I can't quite put my finger on, this week I really actually have to execute some pretty massive parts of it. I will be honest and tell you something about this project is really, really making me feel nervous. It's making me, not in a bad way, not in like I shouldn't do this way, but like I have a little or a lot of anxiety around it, probably because it is insanely personal and vulnerable. It is very intimate and I just don't want to mess it up. I think that's it. It's like mushy in my brain a little bit. And what I need to do is just sit down and let her rip. The only way forward is through. So that is kind of like a beacon of something that has to get taken care of this week. Another project, one of the second out of the three that I'm working on, is really coming together in exciting ways. Proofs have gotten refined. Actually did last night with two people, did kind of like a layout, looked at the whole thing, did a table read of everything for this first package. And like, it's really happening. The clock is ticking on finishing up those edits and proofs and sending it to the person that's going to like put it into its format so that you can consume it. I'm having a clean out the fridge and freezer kind of week as it relates to dinner. So yesterday on Sunday when I was meal planning, I was looking at everything that I had on hand and built menus around that. I am not a person that likes to stock my fridge or freezer or pantry with a bunch of ingredients that aren't going to immediately get used up. Staple ingredients are different. I'm talking about canned goods just for the sake of having canned goods, or frozen ground beef just because you never know when you're gonna need. I don't play that game. I have some frozen Italian sausage left over from something. I'm going to turn that into Ina's rigatoni with sausage and fennel, and then the other half of it is going to be a breakfast casserole, which I'm going to serve with some frozen biscuits that I have in my freezer, homemade. They're so good, heart-shaped. I'm doing this new thing with my hair. I kind of like stumbled into it the other day. I guess I don't know, I curled it differently or blow dry it differently, but like this hair started falling in the front of my face and I was like, ooh, maybe I have bangs now? I don't know. We'll see. I don't have it's not a lot, but like when I push it to the side, she kind of looks like she has bangs. So maybe I have bangs now. I can't tell. Do I have bangs? Let me know what you think of the bangs. Oh, the other thing that happened, I got the photos back from the brand photo shoot that I did a couple weeks ago. I left that shoot with a good feeling. Like I felt good about the house and myself and what I did, but like you just never know what photos are going to look like until you get them back. These photos are 10 times better than I could have even imagined. The images are just, they're spot on. They're so good. Ready to dive into a Monday. Beautiful weather, sun is shining. It's going to be a great Monday. It's going to be a great week with bangs. Remember yesterday when I said that there was a thing that I needed to do this week and I just needed to do it even though I didn't feel ready? Had to get it done this week. I've put it off long enough. Well, yeah, it's today. I have procrastinated in all the predictable ways. Crisis of concept, crisis of execution. Decided midday yesterday that I needed to completely change the format. Not changing the format. And then today I woke up knowing that I needed to do the thing. And so obviously I did some other tasks like writing, super productive writing. It's amazing what you can get done when you're trying to avoid doing something else. Completely cleaned the kitchen, tidied up the entire living room, tidied up my room, my bathroom, put something into the oven, then decided that actually what I needed to do was go on a walk, that I would feel better after I go on a walk. So I am what I'm self-aware enough to call an avoidant walk, walking to avoid doing something, but also like hoping that breathing some fresh air and kind of moving my body will help shake out some of the, I don't know, the nerves. Before I left on my walk, I realized I could not find my favorite little magnetic handheld tripod that I use on my phone. So obviously had to look in every place that I thought it could be, and about 50 places that it definitely wouldn't be, but needed to look anyway. Didn't find it. And now it's exceptionally windy. You can't really tell, but it's exceptionally windy, and I'm wearing like a white little athletic skirt thing, and the wind is gusting my skirt up around my body in a way that makes it look and feel like I'm basically walking through the neighborhood in my underwear, which is not helping my current mental state. This is me avoiding. I really am gonna do the thing today. I'm gonna do it. This is all totally normal. I'll report back when I have finished doing the thing and or found my tripod and or cleaned out another closet. Well, reporting live from my kitchen with my almost finished iced coffee in hand. I did the hard thing. I did not find my magnetic little handheld tripod, but I did do the hard thing that I didn't want to do, that was really, really vulnerable and really, really tricky. I did it. It took a long time. I had to do it several times, but I'm not doing it again. That was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. And this is what I'm telling myself, because do I know if it's good? I do not. I can't tell anymore. I think I'm good. I'm not like evaluating my sense of self, but I can't tell if the work's good. And Lord knows I can't determine whether or not it's the kind of thing that's engaging that you or anyone else is going to want to consume. I don't know, but I know that I did it. I know that it's honest. I am highly aware of the fact that it is imperfect. I know that it's imperfect in ways that I will grow through. If I were to wait until I was like good at all the aspects of a thing, it would never get done. I know that I'll get better at certain parts of this. I felt a little stiff. I felt a little not sure where to put my hands, or is the camera right? I was sharing something that was just like incredibly difficult. The good news is, going forward for this project, it will not always be like this. So the idea of continuing to step into a project where I could barely execute what I needed to execute today would not be sustainable, but this is sustainable for me because I just need to get over this massive emotional hump of the beginning of this work. And I think I did that today. Today was just a lot, but I did it. And I told myself I was not going to allow myself to have my iced coffee until I finished doing it. I am very motivated by a treat. Good job, team. We showed up, we did the thing. Have no idea what I'm doing with the rest of my day. Welcome to Wednesday, where I am very happy to report that I did find the magnetic handheld tripod thing that I love. After looking yesterday, literally looking places it could have been and places it had no business being, I kind of gave up. I was like, well, maybe I left it somewhere. What do I know? And then as I was like falling asleep, like my last conscious thought, it's like this little voice was like, it's in the back pocket of your maroon purse. And sure enough, it was in the back pocket of my maroon purse. I had stashed it there when I went to Dallas and I forgot to check. It's like my subconscious brain and I are friends. I just have to give her a minute to like do her work. So thank you for coming on this tripod adventure with me. I had a full no makeup Wednesday, comfy clothes, jeans and a sweater. It was such a good day today. I have a couple of things to share with you. First of all, we have fallen into a pattern in our home of early dinner. And I'm talking like dinner is completely done, dishes are done before 6 p.m. I kind of love it. Some of it is fueled by the fact that a couple of my people have to leave the house for things at like 5:30 or something, so it's just beneficial to them if I can have dinner at least ready for them to eat a little bit early. This early dinner train is like kind of awesome. Kind of love it. So highly recommend early dinner. Second, today I had a 2-hour meeting with one of my collaborators who is helping with the graphic design portion of one of the projects I'm working on. This was one of those meetings where I think we got through 2 rounds of proofs and there was a lot of feedback, like a lot of nitty-gritty kind of like notes to assimilate, final decisions made on some stuff. And we are going to be meeting next Thursday. And we will be done. Like when I leave that meeting, final proof will be approved, no changes, because we have to hand this work to the person that's then going to make it available to access online. And it's such a great feeling to know that this time next week, this body of work, or at least the first installment of this ongoing body of work, it's gonna be done. It's a great feeling. And I'm really loving the way that it's coming together. For all of the emotional roller coaster around, do I like it? Is it good? Is this what I thought it would be? The answers to the question is I have no idea if it's good, but I do like it. It's better than I pictured, which is always a good feeling. Definitely some learning curves. Knowing what I know now about the way that the work is going to lay out going forward, there are some things I would have done differently in hindsight, but it's gonna be okay. First time you do anything, it's a little bit of a, S show. And this is not an S show, don't hear what I'm not saying. But the learning process has been interesting. This time next week, I'll be walking away from a finished proof. I haven't looked at the calendar. I was trying to figure out when I can name to you the first project based on when these vlogs come out and when the first project is going live. And I don't think I can say it out loud here yet, but maybe next week. I'm really excited to be able to speak about the first project that I've been working on in secret and not hiding, but just haven't been able to talk about publicly. I'm real excited to tell you some behind the scenes stuff on that. I think that's about all I have on this Wednesday. Good things happening with my work. Found my tripod. Highly recommend early dinner. I mean, I live a pretty exciting life over here. I was just doing a little bit of kitchen work, mostly in preparation for the fact that my son and a couple of his friends are swinging through town, basically overnight, wake up and they need a breakfast and then they're going somewhere else. He was like, we'll just make eggs and bacon in the morning. And I was like, you know what I don't want is a bunch of pots and pans and bacon grease and all that. I offered to make some oven-ready breakfast sandwiches. I was like, well, if I'm making breakfast sandwiches, I'm just gonna make a bunch of them because they're freezer friendly, which got me thinking about some of the little tasks that I do, kind of like tending to the food situation in my home that I thought might be interesting to share. I have been kind of recommitting my life to not wasting any food that we bring into our home, both from a budgetary standpoint, to kind of maximize our grocery dollar, and just from a kind of like stewardship standpoint. One of the things that we always have on hand, we always have fruit on hand. I buy fruit every week. Invariably, I can never predict which fruit is gonna land and disappear in a second, and which fruit is just gonna hang out in the fridge for indeterminate amounts of time. For whatever reason this week, grapes were a thumbs down. Instead of throwing that fruit out, what I've started doing is what I call harvesting it and putting it in the freezer. Grapes that did not get eaten but are still perfectly good grapes, I plucked off the stems and put them in quart containers, and I'm gonna stick them in the freezer, because while somebody might not have eaten grapes this week, the idea of a frozen grape is very appealing and might make for a good little snack. Lately, we have been like doing a great job starting a container of berries, but not finishing it. I have been taking, before they start to like turn weird and moldy, blueberries or blackberries, or sometimes even strawberries, putting them in a quart container, putting them in the freezer. And then what that equips me to do with the berries is to turn that into some sort of breakfast bread. So whether it's blueberry muffins, I'm making Allison Roman's, she's got like some sort of summer berry oat cake situation. I will just use them straight from the freezer. And it's like they get a second life while providing a breakfast bread or a sweet treat or something and not having to buy that. I have been freezing a lot of like bread that's on its last leg and then making croutons out of it. I don't mean to sound pretentious about this practice, because there have definitely been seasons in my life where I did not do this. I was too busy to bother. Right now I'm in a season where not only is it frugal of me to try and use up as much of the food that we bring into the house as possible, it also feels really good. Something about this is filling my cup and doing good work inside of me. This kind of stuff, there's no inherent virtue in it, so I don't ever want to make someone feel like this is the only way to live. It's not. But if it brings you joy and you have the capacity to do it, there's really good things to be found in the practice of keeping up with the food and the things in your house in a way that makes sense. There's nothing exciting about it other than that's what I'm doing, so I thought I'd talk about it. So I'm rounding out this week. It is the end of the afternoon on Friday. I'm going to fold some laundry, living the dream over here. Okay, I think that's all I have. Thanks for being here this week. It's been a good week. Let's go fold some laundry.
What are you doing in there? Are you doing laundry? Thank you for your help. Kitten, it's a dryer. Yeah, thank you for helping fold the laundry.